After this event, you will all become so good friends because you passed through so many things together, which means this conference. I know that everyone is tired now after a very, very intense day. We're gonna take a break, the last coffee break. We have the last panel, but very important panel about human trafficking with very good speakers, and the dinner will come at 7:30. I want to thanks again to all the experts in this panel. Thank you very much, generals. Thank you, Your Excellency, Dan, John, Sohan, Megan. You were great. Thank you for bringing us so much expertise and set up the milestones for the future projects that we look forward to now after 25 years of strategic partnership. I truly believe with the tremendous work that Romania did through its policy, we have the framework to talk about prosperity and business between our countries and a better economy for our citizens. I look forward to that. Thank you very much. Congressman, please.
You have the declaration page, if you take a look at that, and supporting the Ukraine members of parliament. And then give that to Lucas, if you could sign that. If you have any comments, we had some small additions, commas, and little phrase to put in, but welcome your support. Have a brief break if you would, and then we'll have a good dinner. But don't miss the next panel. It will be very chilling and sobering, but something you need to hear. Thank you.
John.
People who are very engaged in protecting and securing the lives of 40 million people who are caught up in human trafficking, many of them being exploited by terrorists. I would like to introduce the chair of the Parliamentary Intelligence Security Forum Task Force on Human Trafficking will be Ann Basham. Serving on this committee and joining us today are Karen Bradley, a member of the UK Parliament and co-chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group on Human Trafficking and Modern Slavery in the UK. Roshan Abbas is Executive Director of the Campaign for the Uyghurs. Ioana Bauer, President of Iliberar and Foreign Policy Advisor in the Office of the Prime Minister. Rosalia Biro, Chairwoman of the Committee of Foreign Affairs of the Chamber of Deputies in Romania. And Davis Opuku, Member of the Parliament in Ghana. Thank each of you for your incredible service. One of the great black marks that's taking place in our world today, and we hope you will show us how we can be a greater collaborator with you on protecting these lives. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Congressman Pittenger. And can I thank you for all you do and for putting on these incredible events that bring together parliamentarians, academics, and leaders in the field in these incredibly important matters. And can I also thank everybody here in Romania for your incredible welcome. It was commented on earlier about the spectacular room that we are in. It is quite an honour to be able to speak to you and address you from this stage underneath this incredible dome and knowing the history of this building. So thank you so much for your welcome. I'm the first speaker on the panel on human trafficking. And I'm very proud to be a member of the Human Trafficking Task Force of the Parliamentary Intelligence and Security Forum. We formed last year to make sure that this issue got real focus across the world, because this is a global problem. This is not a problem that any one country can solve unilaterally. It is a problem that affects every single one of us and every single country. And the fact that we heard from Congressman Pittenger that there are estimated to be 40 million victims of human trafficking and modern slavery around the world today should be a stark reminder to all of us why this is such an important issue. And the task force has allowed parliamentarians from across the world to meet virtually and to meet in person so that we can work together on joint campaigns to raise awareness of this issue. Because wherever there is a security issue, there will be human trafficking. The definition of human trafficking, according to the United Nations, is the recruitment, transportation, harbouring or receipt of people through force, fraud or deception with the aim of exploiting them for profit. Now, I think it's really important that we focus on that last word, for profit, because this is a financial crime. And that means that organised criminality, terrorist groups and others are exploiting human beings for money. And immigration status is an important part of why someone becomes vulnerable to becoming a victim of trafficking. But this is not an immigration crime. This is a crime of a financial crime. This is a crime of someone making money out of somebody else. And it's a crime that affects all of us. It can affect people from all walks of life, from all educational backgrounds. It does affect more people who are deprived, have not had the educational opportunities, that live in communities that are badly affected by climate change, for example, that are looking for a better life and are prey to the victims, prey to those traffickers, those organised criminals who will use that vulnerability to exploit them. And of course, one of the great opportunities for traffickers is war. And we're gathered here because we're talking about Ukraine and what has happened in Ukraine. We've heard today that there are 12 million people displaced. 60% of all Ukrainian children are displaced, either internally within Ukraine or living in neighbouring countries. And I know that being here in a neighbouring country, it is those countries on the front line that are feeling that most acutely. We have to remember that when somebody is displaced, when they're undocumented, when they are somebody who is vulnerable, that is when the traffickers will move in. That is when they will take that vulnerable young person or old person and they will exploit them. And they're doing it all for profit. Now, in the UK, we take this issue incredibly seriously. I was a minister in the UK Home Office, and I brought in what became the Modern Slavery Act in 2015. And I've worked on this issue ever since, because it is an issue that you can't escape, but you don't want to escape. If you ever meet a victim, you ever meet anybody who has been through this crime, you want to do everything you possibly can to help them. And that means that in the UK, we do have systems and we have processes in place. They're not perfect. There's lots that I would like to improve about them. But we have what we call the National Referral Mechanism, which makes sure that victims are identified by the state and are given support. And that is incredibly important, because if we don't give support to the victims and we don't make this a victim-centred approach to this crime, we will never catch the perpetrators and break the cycle. And of course, we are a country in the UK that sees victims of trafficking from other countries. And I'm sad to say that Romania is one of those other countries. And the close working relationship the UK has with Romania is incredibly important to stopping this crime. We need to work together, because Romania is the EU country with the highest number of victims identified in the UK. That is something that we all want to eradicate, and we can do that by working together. And I was particularly interested to see that there is a push to introduce new legislation that would help to make sure that displaced people did not become prey to criminals who are already on a sex offenders register in Romania. I think that kind of innovative thinking in law is incredibly important and will help us all to tackle this. So I'm just going to conclude by reminding us all that we're talking about human beings. We're talking about people, children, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, people who are loved and who are exploited. Wherever there is disaster, wherever there is issues in the world, crises in the world, be it war, be it climate change, be it famine, we will see migration, and that will lead to opportunities for traffickers. We can only tackle this if we work together. I'm so pleased that we have the task force of parliamentarians working together to combat this. We've got a long way to go, but I know this is the kind of initiative and way of working that will help to make a difference, and I want to thank you for listening. Thank you.